is Maria Alejandra Noa, and I'm Customer Success Manager in Eventtia, and I will be your host today. Well, we understand that the nature of events changed from last year, but that doesn't mean that the purpose of connecting people and creating engagement has to be lost. So that's why in Eventtia you can create networking sessions so your participants can attend one-to-one meetings, create business opportunities, and share contact information. In this session today, I'm going to show you how to set up your networking session using our platform. So let's start. Okay, so first of all, I want to let you know that I created previously 3 types of attendees using the registration module, of course. The purpose of this event is to generate connections to connect buyers and suppliers. So that's why I have this type of attendees here. Having said that, I'm going to go to the networking module and start creating the session. Okay, so first you have to name your session. Let's say I want this session to be called B2B meetings. Of course, it's going to be virtual. The sender name and sender email account. This one basically comes from the information you set up previously when creating the event. And the sender name, this is something you can change and type whatever you need or you want for communication purposes. Now, we have the dates here. So the start date and end date of the actual networking session. So considering that my event is going to be for 2 days, I want this networking session to be for 2 days as well. So let's say it's going to start on July 7th at 10 a.m. and is going to finish the following day, which is the last day of my event, let's say 2 hours before the event is done. Now, we have the meeting scheduling dates. This is basically the date when the attendees can start requesting meetings to each other. So I believe that it's very important to give the attendees an opportunity, at least a few days, to manage their agenda, to request the meetings, to accept them, so they have something more clear in terms of their agenda before the actual event starts. So I'm going to give them a week so they can start scheduling a week before the event starts. And the scheduling can stop the day before my event at 9 p.m. Okay, so we have created the networking session. This is the basic information. Now we're going to go ahead and create the networking profiles. This is very, very important, so pay attention to these steps. As I told you before, I want to connect buyers and suppliers in this event. So the first networking profile I'm going to create is buyers. Now, please pay attention to the different options that we have here. The first option can block time slots. That means that the attendees are going to be allowed to manage their agenda and block the time slots when they are not going to be available to attend any meeting. I think that this is very important, and you as organizers have to think about this, because enabling this option can avoid many rejection to meetings that people can request and the other participant might not be available during that time slot. So I'm going to enable this option. The second option, cancel meetings. This means that the participants that are part of this networking profile can cancel the meetings during the event's life cycle. And this last one, schedule restrictions. This means that the participants won't be able to schedule meetings in time slots that are used for other activities or purposes. Of course, this is going to depend on the nature of your event and if your event is going to be focused on networking or other activities. In this case, I'm going to disable this option because this event in particular is going to be very focused on networking. So I want the participants to be able to have all the time slots available for networking. Now we are going to select the attendee types that are associated to this networking profile called buyers. So I'm going to select international and national buyers here. And this last option, show contact info, this means that the information about the contact, for example, the email and phone, are going to be visible during the meeting. I want to have as much as engagement and contact as possible, so I'm going to select this option as well. Okay, let's give it a few seconds. So this is basically the most important part of the networking process, because here you're creating the networking profiles and then you're going to set up who can request meetings to whom. Let's see why it might be wrong. Let's see if my networking profile was created or not. Yes, it was created. So I'm going to go ahead and create the second one. So the second one is going to be called suppliers, because as I said before, I want to connect buyers and suppliers. Again, we have the three options that I mentioned before. So I'm going to select the first two, that they can block time slots and they can cancel meetings. And I'm going to select the remaining attendee type, which is suppliers. Again, I want the contact information to be visible during the meeting for the other participants. Now I click on Save. And let's wait for the networking profile to be created. Okay, I think it seems something is wrong with my internet, but let's move forward with this. Okay, let's wait a few seconds. I'm sorry about this. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So let's keep going with our networking profiles. So again, I'm going to repeat the process and create the second networking profile called suppliers. I'm going to enable these two options that they can block time slots, that they can cancel meetings, and I'm going to select the remaining attendee type. And of course, show the contact information. Okay, so I have my two networking profiles created, buyers and suppliers. Now I'm going to set up who can request meetings to whom. So I'm going to go back to the first networking profile, buyers. So I want the buyers to request meetings to the suppliers, but not to other buyers. So I'm going to leave this box unchecked. Click on save. And then I'm going to go to the second networking profile and I'm going to leave it like this because I want the suppliers to request meetings to each other, but I don't want the suppliers to request meetings to the buyers. So I'm going to leave this box unchecked. Okay, so we are done with a very important part, which is the networking profiles. Now we are going to move forward with the meeting notifications. So we have three types of notifications: the meeting request email, the meeting acceptance email, and the meeting rejection email. So the meeting request email, as you can see, you can customize the subject and the participant is going to receive basically a template like this, an email that looks exactly like this. It's basically a new meeting request with the attendee details and of course the meeting details. The participant will be able to confirm or reject the meeting just by clicking on this button and even check the other participant's profile. Now, the meeting acceptance email is just basically this, is just telling the participant that the meeting has been confirmed. And again, it has all the attendees, as we can see, all the details about the attendee and the meeting indeed, as you can see here. And the final notification type is the meeting rejection email. This means that the meeting was declined. So you can just click on here or on this button and you can request a new meeting to another attendee or to the same one. Now, this tab here called time restrictions is basically that you as organizers can block time slots for all participants in the agenda for other purposes like breaks during the event, activities, or even lunchtime. So I'm going to create a new time restriction the very first day of my networking session from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. just for lunch, so the participants can have enough time to have lunch. Moving forward with time, we're going to go to the meeting slots. This is a very, very important part of creating a networking session. So we have the 2 days when my networking session is going to take place, and we have two options here. The first one is add slot by slot. That will take a lot of time, but that's something you can do in case you want to have different times for the meetings. And the second option is to generate as many slots as you want. So I'm going to show you how both of these options work. So the first one is as I said, generate individual time slots. So I'm going to create one from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to show you the second option. This is to generate more slots. So after 11 a.m., I want to have meetings of 30 minutes. I want to have 10 slots for the rest of the day. And I want a break of 5 minutes. And as you can see, the system is going to generate the slots for me. So you have these two options to customize each of the days of your networking session. Now, I'm going to go to the participants and schedule meetings. However, before going there, I want to recommend and suggest you that before opening the registration to the public, it's better to set up your networking session first. So when people start registering, you are going to have them as participants here of your networking session. So since I don't have any attendee registered here, because as you can see, I just created my networking session, I'm going to go ahead and open another event so I can show you and continue with the networking. Okay, so we were here. Once your participants start registering, you are going to have their profiles here. So you can select each of the profiles and you can see their general agenda each of the days. And you can even request meetings for them. So just by selecting one of the slots available and selecting a second participant. You can just request or request and confirm right away, which means that the meeting will be accepted. Now, the schedule meetings. So we have this tab here with all the scheduled meetings, and you can see and even filter by status. So this means that you can see the ones that are requested, that are accepted, rejected, or even expired. This is very useful to keep track on your meetings. Okay. And this last tab is the free slots. So let's say that one of your participants doesn't have as many meetings requested or accepted as you wish. So you want to suggest that person to request meetings to other participants. So you can first select the networking profile and then search for any of the slots that you created before and see who is available at that time. So this participant can request a meeting to those other participants. So in this case, these two profiles came up, which means that both are available during this time slot. So the other participants can request meetings to them because they are completely available. Okay, so this is the basic about our networking sessions. I'm going to show you a few more options that I think will be very useful for you. So I'm going to go to Actions and then click on Advanced Settings. Okay, so the other options. The first one is to enable the meetings evaluation. This means that the participants can evaluate their meetings after they are done. You can customize adding some questions, but please be careful because these evaluations are going to be just focused on networking, not the rest of the event. Now, if your event is paid or the attendees need to be validated before they are confirmed, we have these two options here to allow the attendees that have pending payments and that haven't been validated to participate in the networking session. This other option that we have available here, it's very useful. It's basically enable meeting rejection reasons. So it's basically that the attendees can provide a reason why they cannot attend the meeting and why they are declining their request. You can add as many as you want. And this final option is the mirroring expiration. This means that the meetings that have not been responded within 1 to 8 days are going to expire. Okay, I think this is it regarding the creation and the setup of the networking module. I'm going to go to a virtual stage to show you how it looks for the actual participants. So I'm going to access a virtual stage that it's already created. And then the two modules that you have to keep in mind regarding or considering the networking sessions is the program and the attendees and networking modules. The first one, the program, has a tab here that is the meetings. So you can see basically your agenda. You can block the time slots when you are not going to be available. You can actually check the meetings that are already confirmed. You can add those meetings to the calendar. You can cancel the meeting if you need to. And of course, there is the button to join. Also, you can accept or reject the meetings that are pending of confirmation. And finally, we have the attendees and networking module. This is where you are going to be able to see the rest of the participants' profiles, and you will be able to request any meetings. So if I select this profile, for example, I see all the time slots that this person has available to request a meeting. So I just click on one of them and I send the request. So today I'm going to join one of my teammates, Elsa, in one of the meetings to show you exactly how it looks. Hi, Elsa. So as you can see here, I can mute my microphone. I can stop the video. I can share my screen. Give me a second so I can. So I can share my screen in case I need to present something else to my other participant, like a presentation. I can add a guest. So I can just click on here, copy the invitation, and send it to the other person so that person can join my meeting. I can take notes, and then I can have access to those notes. And of course, I can start a chat with the other participant. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is that you have to enable permissions to your camera and microphone, and of course have a good internet connection so you don't have any issues with your networking session and your one-to-one meetings. Okay, so um, I'm going to continue here. I think this is it. Thank you so much for your time. Hope this is helpful. As you can see, it's very, very easy to set up a networking session, and it's super useful for your events to connect people, to create business opportunities. So if you have any questions, please let us know, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Okay, so for now we don't have any questions. I just wanted to add that once you have the information very clear about the purpose of your event and about the purpose of your networking meetings, I think it's a very easy process. And if you follow the step by step, it's not going to take more than 20 minutes to set up this. So I have one question. What is the streaming platform you use for the networking meetings? It's not a streaming platform indeed. It's not Zoom or Vimeo or StreamYard or any other transmission platform that we know. We have a supplier called Twilio, and that's totally integrated in our platform. So you don't have to do anything. As I said, you only have to make sure that you enable your camera, that you give permissions to your camera and microphone, and that you have a good internet connection to join your meetings. The rest, there's nothing you have to do in terms of transmission because that Twilio is totally integrated to our platform. Okay, anything else? Is there a limit of meetings a participant can have? No, there is no limit. The system only takes, for example, if you have a meeting already scheduled with another participant, you are not going to be allowed to ask a second one, to request a second one. Because the purpose of this is that you can connect with many people, and that's why we have our platform set up that way. So it's not a limit of meetings that a participant can have. That will depend on the slots that you create, the meeting slots that are going to be available for them. And the only thing that you have to keep in mind is that they request if they have already a meeting scheduled with another participant, then let's search for another profile, request more meetings to other participants so you can uh, share as much as possible with other attendees. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy. I really did. And we will see you in the next time. Thank you. Bye bye.